Hello all, welcome to our channel. In the series of Constitution of India, as we are seeing the history of Constitution, previously we saw the British era administration and the Indian system of administration. Today we are going to look up into some regulating acts during the British administration, which have influenced our constitution a lot. So one by one we'll be seeing in the chronological order. The first act that we are seeing is Regulating Act of 1773. Regulating Act of 1773 was the first step taken by the British Parliament to control and regulate the affairs of East India Company in India. So there are these certain points that you may note it down in this all the acts that were very prime points of those acts. So first was that British Parliament to control over the affairs of East India Company. Then it designated the Governor General of Bengal, that is Fort William, as Governor General of Bengal. Then Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of Bengal. Executive Council of Governor General was established, which was of 4 members. There was no separate legislative council. It subordinated the governors of Bombay and Madras to the Governor General of Bengal. So the governors of Bombay and Madras were subordinated by the Governor General of Bengal. So Bengal had the prime authority. The Supreme Court was established at Fort William, that is in Calcutta, as the Apex Court in the year 1774. So it was the first Supreme Court that was established in India was of the Apex Court, that was considered as the Apex Court was in Calcutta. It prohibited servants of company from engaging in any private trade or accepting bribes from the natives. The Court of Directors, that is the governing body of the company, should report its revenue. This was all the basic points of Regulating Act of 1773. Next, we are going to see the next important act is Pitt's India Act. It's a very famous act of 1784. That says that the commercial and political functions of the companies were separated. The Court of Directors managed the commercial activities while the Board of Control managed political affairs. It reduced the strength of the Governor General's Council of 3 members, that was of Madras, Bombay and Bengal. It placed Indian affairs under the direct control of British government. The company's territories in India were called the British possessions in India. Governors' Council were established in Madras and Bombay. So these were some points of Pitt's India Act. And the next one is these are some quick points that you should remember about this act. So you can just note down all the acts. You can pause the video, you can take back the video and again note down these points that I said. Next act is Charter Act of 1813. The East India Company Act 1813, also known as the Charles Act 1813. This is among the Charter Acts. So these are all under the Charter Acts, the following acts that we will be seeing. So this act is also known as this act is also known as Charles Act or East India Company Act. Was the act of Parliament of the United Kingdom which renewed the charter issued to the British East India Company and continued the company's rule in India. The company's monopoly over Indian trade was terminated by this act. The next act is Chartered Act of 1833, that is Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of India. The first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. So this you have to remember, that the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. This was the final step towards centralization in British India. The beginning of central legislature for India as the act also took away legislative powers of Bombay and Madras provinces. The act ended the activities of East India Company as the commercial body and it became a purely administrative body. The next is Charter Act of 1853. The legislative and executive functions of Governor General's councils were separated. The Council of Legislative Purposes, which had 6 members, was now expanded to 12 members. 4 out of 6 members were appointed by the provisional governments of Madras, Bombay, Bengal, and Agra. It introduced a system of open competition as the basis for recruitment of civil servants of the company, that is, Indian civil servants open for all, which was first limited to British officers only. Next to it is Government of India Act of 1858. Government of India Act of 1858. The rule of the company was replaced by the rule of Crown in India. The powers of the British Crown were to be exercised by Secretary of State for India. He serves assisted by the Council of India having 15 members. He was vested with complete authority and control over the Indian administration through the Viceroy of his agent. The Governor General was made the Viceroy of India. Lord Canning was the first Viceroy of India. So the first Governor General of India was Lord William Benedict, and the first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. It abolished the Board of Control and Court of Directors. So these were some points of Government of India Act 1858. Next we are going to see is Indian Councils Act of 1861. It introduced for the first time Indian representation in the institutions like Viceroy's Executive and Legislative Council. That was non-official. 3 Indians entered the legislative councils. Legislative councils were established in the center and provinces. It provided that the Viceroy's Executive Council should have some Indians and as an unofficial members while transacting the legislative businesses. It accorded statutory recognition to the portfolio system, initiated the process of decentralization by restoring the legislative powers to Bombay and Madras provinces. Next in the list is India Councils Act. India Councils Act of 1892, and that introduced the indirect elections, that was on the basis of nominations, then enlarged the size of legislative councils and enlarged the functions of legislative councils and gave them the power of discussing the budget and addressing questions to the executive. Now all these are the points that you have to remember. Actually these acts were very elongated documents of the British administration, but then I have taken few points that are important from this act that are needed to be remembered for the study of history of Constitution. Next to it is Indian Councils Act of 1909. That is Indian Council Act of 1909. The act is also known as Morley Minto reforms. Elections, mainly indirect, were affirmed for all levels of society. The elected Indians were also enabled to debate budgetary and complementary matters and table resolutions. It changed the name of Central Legislative Councils to the Imperial Legislative Council. The number of Central Legislative Council was increased to 60 from previously 16. Introduced a system of communal representations for Muslims by accepting the concept of separate electorate for Muslims. The first time Indians were also given place in Viceroy's Executive Council. That was Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first law member in the Viceroy's Executive Council. So this you have to remember. Okay, so in the next part we'll be seeing all the other acts, all the other major Government of India Act after that. So stay tuned for more such videos to our channel. Please do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.